Hello and welcome to Deconstructing the Construct, episode 11, I believe. Could be wrong. Well, I won't say that last week was slow and boring, like the previous in comparison. A lot seems to be going down. Now, it's hard when we're constantly dealing in metaphors for what is felt in the energetic, I know that, and everybody has a different visual that works for them. And this kind of gets complicated to explain, but I have a feeling most of you get it. As I've been saying since March, it's still March. Like for me, it was, like the 189th day of March. However, energetically, and that's obviously an energetic thing, it feels like I just shifted into April, like I'm in the first week of April. But this is multi-dimensional in a way, because there's a number of things happening. There's an aspect of me that feels like it just moved into April, and that to me is this where I am energetically. But there is also another aspect that is observing the closeout of this timeline. And this is where it gets tricky to sort of try and put images to it. But my current feeling is knowing, whatever, that we'll call it a timeline. We could also call it a quadrant or a whatever, that we were on, which is the one they wanted us to be on, up until the end of December 2012. At that point, we created a copy of that, which I think kicked in early 2013. It's only been running for 3 and a bit years. 13, 14, 15, 16, actually 4 and a bit years. And that may not be quite that long, but I think it did start in 2013. And it was the copy that we've talked about. The original was then closed, quarantined, and closed off. And we pulled everything that we needed to pull, all aspects of ourselves, out of that space, that timeline. And once it was ready and empty, we quarantined it so nothing else could get in, and we blew it. It doesn't exist anymore. And we created this copy. I think that in doing so, I actually think the Mandela effects, what we've been calling the Mandela effects, were on purpose as part of the shake up, wake up process. Not a copy of home, to answer that question. A copy of the timeline that we were on, and the one that would have led to a reset or whatever it is they were trying to achieve. That this copy is now in the process of closing out. We shut the doors on it a couple of weeks ago. We started the cleanup process, and the cleanup process in part involves pulling out of there, us pulling out of there. There's a multi-step process here. There is some kind of, whether it's Jenny's dream about quarantine, or some of you have been seeing it as a warehouse, or some of you have been seeing it like similar to the waiting room. Some of you have been seeing it as a tunnel, a holding space. They're all the same thing. Airports, bus stations. this holding space. So it's been a three-step process already. We've gone from the old timeline, or previous one, to the copy. And then those who are done and ready are being pulled into this waiting space. It's not the new sphere. It's not any of that stuff. It's not there yet. It's this holding space. And then this copy is still in the process of being cleaned up and closed out. So there's a part of me that is watching the closeout. So 2013 is still being closed out, but my focus is more on what's happening in 2014. So for those of you who are experiencing a redo of circumstances and events and themes that were running in 13 or 14 or 15 or even last year, for me, it's not that there's been a loop or a reset or you've been pulled back or anything like that. It's that as these periods are closing out, anything, I don't know, either unresolved or where maybe there was some T's not crossed and I's not dotted, or something where a better resolution could have come from it. Stuff that's, to me, it's just coming up as this is closing out, and everybody's in different points along here. It's not like we're all together moving through. Something shifted at the end of last week. I think it was the end of last week, that really allowed for people to be pulled out of that and into this waiting space. Those who were really in trouble. That wasn't really available anymore. There was the group that I work with do a lot of healing work, and it seemed like all we could do was heal what was sort of showing up and help support. But something shifted to the point where we could not only do that, but people could get pulled out of that space. I don't feel like personally I'm doing any of this with these redos. I seem to be in some sort of an observer mode of a lot of this. It's quite interesting. So there's an aspect of me, like I said, that feels like it's observing the closeout, but I'm watching it come in from there now. There's another part of me that feels like it's finally April. Friday I did have a personal experience where a whole bunch of fractals came in that kind of knocked me about, and I'm still not entirely sure they've completely aligned and settled into their new home. So I'd like to ask you guys, does anything that I've said to this point feel like it either explains anything you're going through, or do you resonate? It's basically what I want to know. Yes, for David. Okay, thank you. Is there anything you wanted to add to that, Jenny, that I've said so far? Or you weren't listening? You were passing notes with the kids in the back of the class.
Yep. That's wrong. Just checking on Kurtis.
Okay. What else did we want to talk about then? Oh my God. Sorry, I'm just waiting for all the interruptions to go. A lot is integrating at the moment. Yeah. And M, nothing. Okay. What do you mean? You're not experiencing any of this, or it doesn't, or what you're experiencing isn't explained by any of this? People who have none of that, you need to sort of explain a little bit about how you feel. I mean, if it's not that, what is it? And I think this waiting space quarantine sort of thing that is not too dissimilar to the waiting room. But there are differences. There are different qualities. No, you're not a bot, Clive. Absolutely not. Ah, P, interesting. So the physical stuff has been coming up from an injury or an illness or an incident that happened in 2013, 14, 15 has just come up again out of the blue, being re-experienced. But as P just said, when you see it for what it is, it clears really quickly. So, okay, there's a few people who just feel like they've just been waiting. I think we all have. And I haven't seen so much activity and diversity in a long, long time in terms of roles. There are those who really do feel like the cleanup crew. There are those who feel like they are the bait. There are those who feel like they are stepping up and being the healers. There are those who feel like they're in prep mode, preparing for people coming. Everyone's kind of just gone scatter and taken on their jobs. And it happened quite quickly, really. We went from feeling like a very cohesive collective who were focused on the same thing to somebody rang a bell and everyone just ran and ran to their what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, to do their job description, their post, you know. Okay, so now I'm trying to get ahead of the game by reviewing the best and the worst of 2013 and 14. So I'll know if any of it hits the remember this button. I just feel like there is something stopping me being what I'm meant to be. Okay. Well, if you can be on the call tomorrow with the other members, let's talk. Let's sort of see if we can have a look at it. What's a physical pain which changes to lack of energy in the muscles? Not a good explanation. Is this old, unresolved, or reoccurring stuff? Yeah, a lot of people are getting their hands dirty in this cleanup. And need to have a good energetic shower every now and then. Wash all that shit off. And some of them need more than that. They need help, yes. Patients, no health problems, good. I mean, there's been some really interesting. Oh. You know, the two of you can bugger off. Sorry, I'm being heckled from the back, you know, from the bleachers. I'm going to turn your camera on you by surprise. I can do that. Oh, she's evil. She's evil.
It's evil. You really are. You've got a horrible mind.
So, there's been some interesting dreams that have been shared with me too, and all around the same sort of thing. We've had quite a few people dreaming of portals opening up in the sky, portals that open up and suck in black stuff or anything artificial, all the man-made stuff, and just leaves all the organic. But there's been I must have had 3 of those in 3 days in terms of messages from people. There's dreams of cleaning, packing, being pulled, literally feeling like they're being pulled up and out of their bodies. I think this is all representative of this moving into this waiting space. It's very, what's the word? Distracting. What's going on? Is she any better? Awesome. So for those of you who are members, and even if you're not, and you really, really feel like you're in trouble or you're stuck, or you need some help, reach out. There's been a lot. The girls are working overtime. There's been a lot of healing work going on, and I won't give away names, but as an example, someone felt absolutely exhausted and stuck, and had been for a couple of weeks. And when we looked at that, it was literally that he was holding a space open for people to come through, and job done. But now he was kind of stuck, and needed help to be pulled out of that. And the difference in him was the immediate. You know, you could see it. So if you feel like you're stuck, if you feel like you need help, you know, please call out. Okay. Earl, you got your hand up?
Yeah. Anyways,
how are you?
I had a crazy night last night.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to bed around 2:19 last night. And as I'm lying there for a little while, I get this odd feeling in my forehead and in one of my head. So, and all of a sudden, I'm transported.
You mean here across here?
Yeah, across my forehead. So I know, wow, it's my pineal gland doing something. But I was also getting my heart chakra going and the chakra for around my abdomen going as well. Same time, so something up, right? So all I know is all of a sudden I'm somewhere else. And there are these three humans. One looks like Sylvester Stallone, which is weird. And there are 2 others that are female. They're in white uniforms. And so I feel like, okay, I have a mission. That's a feeling like that. Like there's a mission for me. So I leave and come back here. Then a little while later, I fall asleep. I thought I'm seeing myself flying over this castle, wherever it is. Now, I feel like I've gone back. This is not a forward shift.
Sorry, you're going to have to repeat that last bit. You're flying?
I'm flying, and what I'm seeing is a castle. What looks to be a castle. But I feel like I didn't go forward, but I went backwards. For some reason. I don't know why, but I feel like I went to the 1880, like the 1800s or the 1700s. Then when I wake up, so I wake up, turn my legs to get out of bed, right? So as I'm sitting up, there's a temporal anomaly where my head is not going with my body. So I'm sitting up, but my head is lagging like almost like a second to 2 seconds behind.
Behind your body.
Right.
Okay.
And that's it.
I'm looking for something, obviously.
I also messaged Danny about this, and you as well, but I had to use a voice message because I couldn't write it down. Like, it would have been so frustrating for me. But she's like,
the messages to play.
Yeah, I've had people have that problem. I don't know why, but like, because I've been so into like seeing this past stuff, like with 18, with seeing the past stuff like from 1896.
You said
seeing
1896.
Holy fuck!
I told you I was looking for something, right?
Right. And here's the crazy. So I've been seeing like footage, like in my reality, I never seen footage from 1896 or any earlier past the 1900s.
Oh my god.
Like as far as film movies go. Now I could be wrong. It could be nothing.
No. Don't say it could be nothing. I mean, there's no way in the world you just said 1996.
No, but okay. So, but here's the thing. I'm seeing in these videos of people moving around, hustling and bustling, as if they're in the modern time. I'm seeing double-decker carriages, like double-decker buses. But I'm seeing more people. Now, this is a weird thing. More people in that time frame. Because remember how I've been talking about, like last week,
There's no one around.
There's hardly no one around. So I'm seeing all this. Plus, like, the buildings are kind of different. Things are coming earlier than what they're supposed to. Like, but yet we're not further ahead than what we should freaking be. And that doesn't make sense to me. Like,
Hang on. You're gonna let us give you some input here.
Okay.
Firstly, in regards to the years, there was a series of what we were told were recorded messages that came through in December. No, November. From Lulu and Oliver. And this is before we understood the concept, the part of the narrative where the volunteers came in. All right. So this,
Yeah.
at the time of these messages, we were like, what? They talked about coming through in 5 waves. That they essentially came into the construct in 5 waves. One of the years was 1896. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, there's that. There's a story about a character called Val Valerian Thor, who supposedly turned up and was taken to and kept at the Pentagon for 3.5 years. The suit, the outfit that he described, that was described that he was wearing, sounds like what you're talking about. Yeah. Do you want to say something to Earl? Because you were popping all over the shop.
Oh, I'm so excited. Because you're explaining it to it, but I'm excited for it.
So go and have a look on YouTube for Val Valerian Thor. A book was written about the stranger at the Pentagon, I think it was called.
I think I've seen a photo of him a couple of years back.
Okay. No, this is where it's one of those convoluted, Jay, to answer your question, this is why it feels so convoluted and hard to explain, because even though we think it only happened in our TikTok time from December onwards, in terms of these waves of volunteers from home coming in, they wrote themselves into they fractured themselves and wrote themselves into all quadrants, timelines, layers, whatever. So they've been here for up to 6 months, but some of them have been here for hundreds of years or thousands of years, or maybe just this lifetime and they're currently in their 50s, but they've only been here for a few months. It's one of those sort of paradoxes. So, and we're calling them the volunteers. And to our understanding, there are 5 waves. For example, I know one feels like he's been here he was part of the first wave, been here since December. Another one only feels to me like he's been here for 3 or 4 months. However, they've been here forever, if you know what I mean. So, I don't know, 1896, you said the year exactly. So, I don't know what to do with that. I said the outfit he described just sounds like what was mentioned in Val's.
I don't know what got me to be on this, this drive to be looking for this. All I know is I've somewhat been looking at it, looking about the history of certain technologies that came in sooner than what I remember them coming in. And lately, over the past several days, it's been really driving in me that you need to look at, something in me just saying, you need to go looking into this stuff. You need to go down this rabbit hole of video looking and to see because I didn't think it would be going this far back. As far as film going, to be able to have film that's actually there recorded and put up on YouTube by someone to, because I know what film looked like, filmed of a certain era look like. you know. And I am seeing crisper and clear pictures even for that time frame.
Yeah,
Then
but we've already seen different timelines, I guess you'd say, Mandela effects, where they appeared to be far more technologically advanced than our known history. You know, like the fax machines in people's living rooms in the 50s.
Yeah, I remember seeing that one myself. And it is just this mind-blowing thing, and it just, yeah. So when you showed me that, I'm like, wow, okay, then I'm on to something, you know.
All right, we've got a few more people with their hands up, Don. Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. I've lost control for some reason. Okay, Gina.
Hello.
Hello, darling.
This weekend, Russ and I went to see Tamara and Kat and had the most marvelous time. I put some pictures in LMH. But the main thing that I wanted to bring up around that was this physically connecting in 3D that we're all doing, coming together. It seems to magnify and enhance that soul family energy. Just seems to explode, and the connections just, and once it's there forever. It's just there. And it was just absolutely a beautiful time, and we learned so much and shared so much and talked so much that my jaw hurt yesterday. But it really makes a huge difference to get together. Even if it's briefly, you're going to carry that with you, and it'll keep going. So I just want to encourage people, look around you, look in the area that you're in, and find who you have close to you, and meet somewhere, just have coffee or something. If that connection is as strong as whatever you're feeling, you're going to know right away. And it's a feeling of coming home when you can hug that person. It's just awesome. Just such a great feeling. So I just wanted to encourage everybody to do that. And if you can't, if you feel like people are too far away, reach out and see. You never know what opportunities could be there for people. They just need to know what's going on. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. And I missed the first 15, 20 minutes of the show today, so I don't know if anything came up that was super important or anything, but you can fill me in later. So that was it. I just wanted to share that with everyone. And
I want to back up on that. I mean, I've seen, even through 2013 when we did the Opal tour, friendships and connections made back then that are still very, very strong. And they're not going away. Complete strangers met and just connected on some soul level, and those relationships are still there. We are, as we know, amongst the members, there's a lot of movement going on. People are actually moving to live with each other and help each other out and support one another. And it's just beautiful.
It is a beautiful thing. And I right now I feel invincible. And with everything that's going on, my body has been transmuting all the stuff that's been hanging on, and it's just leaving. It's all leaving. And This is the time. This is really the time. So anyway, much love to everybody. Mwah! And I'll let someone else talk now. Thank you.
For me and the girls.
Okay, good.
Thanks, darling.
You look younger again, Gina.
Yeah, you do. You're looking better and better every time I see you. Okay.
Pretty soon I'm going to be like,
I'm not changing anybody's nappies. I've been there, done that.
I was burping John.
JJ.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. I wanted to make a quick observation comment to Earl. It struck me when he was talking that his connection to other aspects of his self are strengthening. And I think maybe one of those aspects is back in 1896. And it's one of those, it's kind of one of those signs I've been looking for that portions of ourself become more prominent or prevalent or maybe obvious is, I don't know if that's the right word or not, but basically more there. Mm-hmm. And so therefore hard to miss. It's kind of like in your face. And I would suspect I've been expecting to see that for a long time, but you know how that goes. But that this kind of gaining familiarity, in a sense, with other aspects of ourselves, the reintegration, will become more common and more prevalent amongst a larger portion of this group anyway, if not everybody eventually. But that was one of the things that struck me about when he was talking about the reality quotient or ratio that he was experiencing in the dream, is that the higher that ratio is, the more it seems really real, like, you know, you are there kind of deal. The more that just cements it for me that it's a fractal of our higher self that we are connected to, and we're becoming more integrated, more one, if you will. That was it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Watch that happen with you too, JJ.
Did you hear that?
What was that?
Watch that happen with you too, JJ.
I've been looking for it. I've been anticipating it. I've been kind of going, you know, just wait for them little flags to pop. Just, you know, something's gonna, you know.
I would just say to you, don't look, because I wasn't looking for it. That's the key to my spirituality, my growth, and how I've gone along with my life. Is I'm not looking for it. When I'm looking for something, it's a bit of a time to find it. But when I'm not looking, bam, it's there. So try that and see how it works for you.
Oh, he's pumped.
That reminds me of what it takes to fall in love. When you're looking for it, it never happens. But when you stop looking, in your face, boom, just right there. Yeah.
Yeah. On a bad hair day, usually.
I also want to just kind of bring up at this point that there's something I'm noticing becoming a very common theme with the volunteers, and that is, in some way, when they were doing the recycle, repeat, they did something different when they injected themselves in here to protect their heart and to protect their codes, and they all carrying their little energetic maps, which to me presented as an information field which had a bunch of lock boxes, and they were event-based, and they were usually connected to someone's DNA or code. So that meant, like, when you meet a person, it would trigger and awaken, and when all those boxes are pretty much ready, you pop. And so the little protection egg inside the heart activates, and you fill up your body. So you connect. There's no point looking for it. It's just waiting inside of you, on the inside, for the right moment, the timing, the event, and the people that you need to connect to, and then you pop. That's what I call popping. Like popcorn, they're popping everywhere now.
Apparently I'm a great ventriloquist.
I agree completely, Donna. It is a pop. It's a huge pop. It's like that's what I feel happened, is that I popped. When all of this came about, after you guys did all that work on me, nothing has been the same since then. And it's just gotten exponentially better and better and better every day. And so, but that is exactly what it feels like.
Because we also know that that their ability to do any more, to repeat, is gone. Now when things are getting cleared, that's it, they're cleared, they're not coming back. You're not getting pulled back into that energy anymore, that frequency.
But for those who do, it's because they're clean.
Yes, for those who do, it's because you're part of the cleanup crew. I feel like just for some of them at least, they're right at the, how do I put this? They're the last ones in that timeline, or in that, they're the ones who are closing it out. So they're often going through whatever is residual, as they clean it up. Words are very inadequate. That's all I can say. What was I going to say though? I can't remember. It's gone. Something to do with fractals, I think. No, it's gone. Does anyone else have their hand up? Not right now. Okay, we're done. We can go now. What else was there that came up this last
Well, I'm
week?
not sure if DTC, it's been since then or not, but I know that when you came out from one of your parts, game finished, called in, had the mirror thing, and I had the mirror thing. And we've mentioned that in the show, but you can describe it from your point of view.
You mean the older aspect?
Yeah.
Okay, there's been a few of us, Donna, myself, and I've seen it in someone else. Which was, you might do it by looking in the mirror and seeing it, or it could just be, I actually saw it with my eyes closed. It was an older aspect of myself that was coming in, about 15 years older. I saw it in one of the members after we did a healing and clearing and pulling him out. His face just matured. It was wild to watch for me. Donna saw it in the mirror. It was like an overlay. Okay? Has anybody else experienced that?
I think Lainey mentioned future older aspects coming in. Messages.
Yep, Blair saw the same thing. Someone on their iPad. Jeannie, yes. Yeah. A future aspect. A future. Because there's, the feeling I got and John, if you've got anything to add to this, John on your iPhone, what this felt like was there is a timeline, or perhaps it was this original one that they had us on that kept going from 2012 and just kept going, the one that one. So somewhere down that timeline where this didn't happen, we're pulling those fractals in too. Because she felt, how do I put this? She felt sad. She felt like she knew she'd missed it. Like she knew it had happened somewhere, sometime, and that she'd missed it. And she'd resigned herself it was very interesting integration. And there was no fear. There was none of that. It was actually relief is what I got from her, that, oh, I'm not going to miss it after all, sort of thing. But that's where I think she came from. Does that make any sense?
Also, as far as those integrations with those other selves and being able to see them, it's not a 3D older or younger thing. It's not like it's, you see, like for me, I saw who I am completely. I looked in the mirror and I could see myself, the self that I see every day. But I saw through my eyes kind of an overlay or underlay, whatever, of the true self that was so strong and so there. It just was undeniable that there was something else there.
Nice.
So I saw someone commented that they didn't want to look older or something, and I just wanted to clarify, it's not about older or younger, even though it may appear that the image you're seeing may look much wiser, much more joyous, much happier, or serious about something, or whatever it is, but it has nothing to do with our 3D age, which is all bullshit anyway. We all know that.
Yeah. John, your hand up.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, Don. How are you?
Good. You guys can hear me okay?
Yeah. Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. Good. It's just this past week I've been thinking about, we've been talking about closing out the past timelines and everything like that. But this feeling that we were closing out the future as well, just because we needed to kind of block certain possibilities from happening, if that makes any sense. Because, we have a goal in mind, but there are other alternate possibilities that kind of needed to be reconciled as well. And I know we all have, our dream job that we go to when we fall asleep. And it seems like in the past week, that's really what it's been about, is kind of closing. When I go to that realm, it's so quantified that I can't really bring any of it back with me, just like little, blips of images here and there. But it feels like that, like closing out the future. And then I kind of pop back into my body to check out, okay, how are things going here? Okay, so let's go back into the astral. Then you pop back there, and it's kind of like this back and forth. But last night it was really, really heavy in terms of closing out the future. That's just what it felt like. And there was something
Sorry, this copy to me contains everything. It's a copy of everything. And we've pulled, instead of us having to go and clean out or whatever, everything, we've created this space and we've pulled it all in here to us. And that includes future, dimensional, copies, layers. It's all being pulled into here and being processed through this one space.
Absolutely. And all the possibilities as well, even like the alternate possibilities that we haven't played out.
Yeah.
And there was a really interesting image that I think Blair had posted in the UU room. And it was just a picture of an eye, like the colored part of an eye. What do you call that? The cornea or the lens, how it has all those veins. And there was a comment about something to do with time. And it just kind of clicked that it's like, I've been trying to visualize what does time look like. And to me, I feel like that is a major little puzzle piece, that it kind of looks like an eye with all those little veins kind of moving towards the center, and they're all kind of wiggly and crisscrossed, and those are the different kind of possibilities that you can move through. And somehow it plays into the crop circle that was related to Kurtis's drawing and a couple of other things. And there was an interesting website that I had found called earth.nullschool.net, and there's a projection that you can view of the world map that gives you like a flat earth kind of view, but it's more of a lens, and it's infinite. And you can have Antarctica be in the center, you can have Antarctica be at the edge. It just depends where you drag it. But when you drag Antarctica to the edge and view it like the traditional flat Earth map, there's these two different magnetic energies that you can see kind of moving clockwise and counterclockwise to one another. And there was an interesting thing that had come out about crop circles, where a woman was trying to say that those kind of polarized forces are what create the crop circle and pull it down, that you have something moving clockwise and something moving counterclockwise. And the only reason why I feel like it applies to this is because I feel like that's the way that things are supposed to be moving. It's very convoluted, but there's a lot playing into it, because just going back to that eye, I mean, that triggered me heavily. It's like, that is what time looks like, I think. So, and with the future,
I just want to ask
no.
a question for those people who are not LNH members who just watch this show. Did we share both the image and the crop circle last week, or we only discussed that in the members area? Okay, I'll pull them up because I think it's extremely cool. Yeah. Sorry guys, just give me a minute to find what I'm looking for. By all means, John, keep talking while I'm looking.
Well, yeah, the big thing about Kurtis's drawing that kind of got me was that and the crop circle as well, is that it almost looked like a DJ table, the way that you have the two discs spinning.
Yeah, so.
And it kind of makes me feel as though that's how the projection is being, because we know that this is a projection of something else, that this is a projection of home. So, but everything is opposite. So obviously it's going through this kind of like distorted lens and projecting it onto us, but in the same respect, we are in this projection of a projection, which is kind of making it a little bit more convoluted, but yeah, that everything is closing out. And also, like you had said, energetically this week, things felt kind of dead, just kind of like it was one long day that just kind of kept going and that nothing ever really happened. But then as soon as you go into the dream realm, it's just madness. And then you wake up and again, it's, nothing. So, but I think that that's a good thing. I feel like, that means that things are calming down a little bit. So I welcome that.
I'm just going to ask Kurtis, can you point me to where I can find that nice and quickly, or resend it to me if he's here?
Just a quick shot. Those counter-rotating fields, that is a torsion generator. That is how you create a torsion field, by having counter-rotating fields.
Has anyone seen the video footage of crop circles being formed, and there's actually like orbs or lights running around the ground and the crop circle is forming right underneath them? Has anyone ever seen those? Yeah, a few of you have.
There was one.
And the image that you drew, darling? I want both.
There was one where there were a couple of guys and they'd been drinking, I think they were Irishmen or something, and they'd seen a big flash of light and it was like literally like a minute and it was gone, and the next morning it was a whole circle.
Can you give me the cleaner one where you haven't got all that scribble on it? And I'm sure the scribble is important, but it detracts. So here's the crop circle that showed up about 3 days, I think, after Kurtis drew what I'm about to show you. And what I love about this is just the way the photo came out. It looks like this one, not even less so than others I've seen. This tunnel seems to have pink running through it. In the other photos, it's quite pink. So there's that. And If I have to use the one with the scribble, I will. If you can't find it.
Yeah, I can't find it. Sorry.
It's okay. I'll share
It's a
a
scribbly one.
scribbly one then. 3 orbs with a tunnel running through it. And that crop circle turned up, what, was it 2 days? 3 days?
3 days.
3 days after?
Yeah.
Which in itself was very, very interesting.
I swear it was more than 3 days.
It wasn't much more.
Because during the call last week with Jenny as well, we thought it was like 3 weeks.
No.
No.
It was something like the 26th.
Seriously?
Yeah. It was not. It was only a matter of days.
Because I sent it to Peter way before 3 days before that. And you mentioned it on one of the calls as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
hang on.
It happened. Someone sent the crop circle to me about 3 days after we first talked about it on the members call. I'm sure of it.
But I drew it before that. The one I shown you after was when I put the blockages in place and I saw the blockages.
Oh.
And it was about a few weeks before that I actually drew the original one, which didn't have the squiggly bits on it.
That's right.
Because I remember mentioning it in one of the shows. If that actually happened.
Well, that's even cooler if you did it that much more in advance.
He did.
Yeah, I'll try and look at the shows and see if I can find it.
He did his a couple of days after my tree.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Was there more you wanted to say, John? Sorry. We got sidetracked.
No, that was pretty much it. Just magnetic distortion. That was what it reminded me of. Those two, what did he say, the toroidal field, that magnetic is what was distorting time and then nothing together. That was pretty much it.
But you're also really feeling that sense of pulling in future versions of ourselves as well. Is that right? Lost you? JJ, you're unmuted. Did you have something you wanted to add?
That the torsion field thing, there's a book, I think Zero might be really intrigued by it. It's not available, or it's out of print right now, but this, I don't remember the details. I'll have to find it. I haven't looked into it enough, but it looks very promising in that it explains what torsion fields are, how they work, how you generate them, what they do, how they operate, their overall functionality, if you will. And the little I've looked at it so far, it is very intriguing. When the book becomes available, I certainly will pick it up. That anyone who has an interest in the sort of the technology or the technical or the technique, I guess you might even say, of torsion fields, the fact that our heart basically is the center of a torsion field, or it generates one, whatever. And that's also how UFOs, early UFOs were constructed, is using torsion fields. They had counter-rotating, they sometimes use mercury and a bunch of different stuff, but they had counter-rotating fields. And that provides all of the motational, in other words, being able to move around, functions that the UFOs that we see. So just that.
Thank you. It's a little bit technical for my head.
Yeah.
The ones who feel like they're a volunteer, the ones who really resonate with this, and the ones who are wondering whether they are, I guess this is for you guys to help maybe clarify, because all we can talk about is the themes that we've noticed amongst those who we feel are volunteers. A sense of either that you've never had a past life, or you don't feel connected to one, that you've been an observer that you've been a watcher, that you, how else can I explain this? That you know you have keys, and this goes back to what Donna was saying. It's like, and I do believe to some extent we all do, but these guys have got them in a different sense, in a different way. It's like little safes or locked boxes within you, and they need to be triggered. They've got somebody else's signature on them. So somebody else unlocks it for you when the time is right. Everything is event driven. And it could be just through a conversation. It could be through, meeting them in the real or in dream time even. It can, whatever. But they seem to have other people's names on them. Right? It's like when you guys get together, these things get unlocked. Check out this crop circle that appeared on the 1st. YouTube ads. Okay, I'll show screen. That's what I drew yesterday. Remember what I was scribbling yesterday when we were at coffee shop?
And that was on the 1st.
That was on the 1st, 3 days ago. So 2 days. Holy shit. I have to, otherwise you won't believe me. Where's my pad? Where's my handbag?
Both Kurtis's and oh no. So cool.
Okay, this isn't as pretty or as detailed as that crop circle, but I had a ring. I had the cube inside. And we had this space here, which I guess in the crop circle is, yep. No, go back. Me. I guess it's that flower pattern space. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, shit.
7.
7.
Fuck.
Okay. Now I'm tripping. Okay, so to explain my interpretation of this, again, it's just a metaphor to try and explain the energetic spaces, right? So that's all it is. So I made the crop circle, yeah. That ring on the outside is the new sphere, it's the new construct, it's the brand new Windows 50.
See what happened? You just spilled soda. How many sodas do we have open? Why is there so many?
No, that was someone else. And it's encasing the old one. It's encasing the old construct, which is here, obviously. This space in between is what we're calling this quarantine holding space. Once this is complete, everyone's out, once everyone's been pulled into here, that needs to come into here, this will blow. And now again, this is just frequency fences. It's all frequency. and it will be like a computer system reboot. Okay, that will get wiped, deleted, and the whole system will reboot. But it will be all of this thing, something like that, right? So yeah, that. You want to say something about 7? Go on.
You.
No, you.
Darius.
Oh, that's 7.
Yeah.
Lisa, I just want to ask a quick question. Will everybody go?
Sorry, are you talking, Dino? Because I can't barely hear you.
Yeah, I was just saying, just a quick question. Will everybody go? Do you think
Yeah.
everybody's going to go?
Yes.
Anybody who's in.
Okay, thank you.
If you're having this conversation, yeah, you're going.
No, I mean,
Thank you.
Any hearted person in this construct is going because they're in the copy. Why would you go to the copy just to be left there?
Yeah, you can't. You're not staying in the copy. The copy won't last. Copy's going. And you're a heart source being, sweetheart. You're going.
You come on that.
Okay, so here's something. The 7. And I don't know if I should say who said it. I think that's probably not necessary. But what came out the other night was that, okay, you have this copy, and it was just shown in the visual to them as like the flat earth with the dome. All right, that's how it was shown in the visual. And that there are 7 beings, and I won't go into who or what those beings are because I feel like it's important not to, who each hold a crystal. Good morning, sunshine. They are all connected to an aspect of the copy. So Earth, the astral, the different dimensions, all the things that we're pulling in, they are acting as, they have been pulling it all in to the copy, for one. And when the time comes, it'll be them that blows it. And there were 7 of them.
Format reboot.
A full reboot. So there's 7 petals on that crop circle. I mean, that crop circle is amazing. It shows to me the 7 positions over the copy of the cube, which is in the center of it, with the ring of the new sphere on the round the outside.
And the quarantine.
And the quarantine space. So thank you for whoever shared that. That's wild. They are gatekeepers, yes, you could say that.
They actually created it. They held the code on a computer of what we think is our.
Okay, that's another way of saying it. They created the copy by pulling in all the information from everywhere. Does that make sense? And if you know, I suppose if you know who creates these spaces, then you know who we're talking about. What else? I don't know where to go with that. It's just blown my mind. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go now. Oh shit. Forward and onward, yeah. I just don't know where onward is. Yeah, Lisa's speechless. Doesn't happen very often, does it?
Yeah, you do. It's to a place that's never been created. Yeah. Kind of. Sort of.
Okay, how do I put that? without.
We're going home. We're creating.
We got confirmation the other night, and I can't sort of really explain how, but that the space that we are in is not how do I put this? It's not real, right? It's not real. It's not because it didn't come from anything that's real, anything that comes from source, whatever you want to call that, comes through original creative thought and heart. And this space that we are in did not come from that. It's a copy, which is why it's in a, and the real doesn't operate in a time loop or with time itself even. It's limitless, endless, and timeless. This is structured in time and in a loop. So it is not real. I don't know how else to explain that. That when it blows or is rebooted, deleted, there is an aspect where some of the stuff that, or the stuff that's in the copy may never have been, may never have existed. And I'm not sure how that, the finer details of that as yet. But there is aspects of this that once deleted will have never happened. Yeah, I can't elaborate on that any more than that. It's not clear enough yet. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's the stuff that was what? Oh. Oh yeah. I think it's only the stuff that should never have been in the beginning. The very, very, very manipulated and contrived. This is not about going into fear that, oh my God, they're going to be deleted. No, you're not. That's not what I mean at all. You know how, wow, we've talked a lot in the past about thought forms that become life forms, that kind of stuff, the stuff that should never have been, the stuff that has been fed into being through pain and suffering, through harvesting, through sacrifice, through all of that stuff. I think it will be deleted as if it never was. It's something like that. Okay. But like I said, it's not clear yet. Hopefully it will become clearer. I don't know. Anybody else want to share anything? Just put your hand up.
Can I just ask a question about?
Yep.
I just wanted to ask a question about what you were just talking about. Do you feel as though it's like the memory would be deleted, or the program that triggers the emotional response to that memory would be deleted? So that we'd still have the memory without the fear and trauma response. Like the pain isn't there anymore.
This has been a big question and the topic of much discussion about memories. What will we keep? What won't we? I'd be talking out my ass if I said anything really right now, because I think it's all speculation at this point.
Jenny's dreaming bubbles.
Jenny's dreamt, if you remember recently, that dream that she had about us all ending up in bubbles while we were waiting. We had full memory. I think we will have memory of that which serves us moving forward. Anything that doesn't, anything that hinders us or continues to cause trauma or anything like that, it goes. There's no, it doesn't serve us. However, there's another aspect that feels like it's all being stored on a hard drive anyway. There is a backup, because there's that phrase that, if you forget history, you're doomed to repeat it or whatever. So there's an aspect that feels like it's been saved on some hard drive somewhere, but not within our own being or within our own DNA. But yeah, personally, I'm just speculating on that one. I got nothing other way. And I think it'll be, the way it feels to me right now is it is being saved on a hard drive somewhere, and it will be viewable and watchable, but not experienced and felt, just like looking up old files in a library. And it won't be locked within us anymore. Something like that. I don't know. What about you, John? What do you think?
Well, I honestly feel the same way, that it's almost like it's going to be archived, but not personal. That you'll still have access to the memory if you wanted to access it, but I think we would also be in a space where you just wouldn't want to. You wouldn't feel the pull because there's no attachment to it anymore.
Yeah, and it won't just be accessible.
That's just what I feel.
In the sense of, I'll only have access to my memories if I want them. It'll be like a public archive that anybody can go in and look at anything. Yes. Yes, please.
Okay, so you guys were triggering me as you always do, again, John. But I was thinking back to my birthday when I got the upload, and there was one point I said, it's all getting copied. And then when it reboots, where it's not just the copy that gets rebooted, it's we get rebooted, but when I saw us rebooted, we looked like we used to, the originals, because that information is also stored.
Mm.
So they kind of use that information and then can take out, slice and dice what you want. It's kind of how I saw it, but I couldn't find very good words at the time. But yeah, that was definitely, I could see, all this is getting copied, it's getting backed up, but all of the other stuff, the original stuff is all also backed up. Our original codes, the way our original codes work, we need to reboot in order to get them.
Yes, the word reboot is playing heavily right now. A reboot of the system, a reboot of us. The whole thing gets a reboot.
If I might, it strikes me, or one of the tenets I've always sort of known, I guess, is nothing's ever lost. The insistence that it have an impact on us, that's up to us, and maybe because we'll grow enough or whatever to realize the triggers and not get triggered ourselves. But it strikes me that there's meaning and wisdom even in the crap. And to lose that would be a shame. I mean, that's, in a sense, the only good that comes out of it is the fact that we gain some understanding and, wisdom and all that stuff from it. Well, not the only thing, but I mean, that's the predominant factor. And so it doesn't seem like it would serve to further our cause to not be able to know all of the junk that we've experienced and gone through. and to lose that just it doesn't ring true to me anyway. That's it.
Yeah, that's why I've got a
I've-
feeling a hard drive somewhere that's storing it all.
I've always felt like all of what we've all experienced here is not lost, will not be lost. It's been saved and stored for the purpose of quote unquote future creations, spaces, whatever, as a maybe a learning, like, holy fuck, yeah, let's not do that. You know, I don't know, but I just felt like that is a valuable experience that is never lost and will be used for wherever, whoever, whatever in the quote unquote
Some
future.
light entertainment and a good laugh.
Horror movies of the future.
I could say, holy shit, I ain't watching any of it.
Yeah, there does feel like there's a sifting and sorting, filtering process going on too. So that
Yeah, it'll be like, hey, let's go watch cat videos of the past.
Did you two have
Well,
something?
if we think about it, if we all had all the information available to us from the beginning, would we have ever willingly chosen to go down this road? Hell no. This was a co-opted, situation. So,
Absolutely not.
I'm just wondering how useful really is it to be stored, because for a while I can see things like, now do you remember what happens when you don't listen to me?
Just to bring things up a little bit lighter, I was just saying, maybe not everything should be stored, because you remember that time you didn't listen to me? Or, let's just replay this, shall we? Let's see what happens.
Naughty girl.
Okay, well, I think I've shared everything I needed to, or wanted to. What about you guys?
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Well, I just wanted to say that I feel like anything you would see from the past in that future perspective would be seen from a clear and honest perspective. So any event that you viewed would be completely neutral, because you would see every side of it and you would see the truth of it. You wouldn't see any sort of personal projection or programs. All of that would be gone. And you would have like an omnipotent perspective, or whatever the word would be.
Yeah,
Thanks, John. I feel better now.
So yeah, but that was it.
No, I agree. Thank you. Okay, we might leave on this note. What?
I'm green.
Oh, well, there was something I was going to add. Which was the thing that Heck shared last. But now that we've gone past it, maybe we don't need to.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is, again, it's speculative, right? Some of you may remember who were in the UU room at the time. December 15, a young guy had an experience. He went to lay down, he wasn't asleep. And he said, suddenly it was 15 days in the future. He then went to sleep and dreamt. And he had a rather extraordinary dream. And in the dream, he was told, because the dream involved timelines and time loops and time jumps. In the dream, he was told, Lisa M. Harrison will explain everything. He woke up with my name in his head. He'd never heard of it. Did a Google search, went to my website, I have no idea about any of the stuff this chick talks about. So had a look at the first couple of videos that showed up. And the first video that showed up for him was one that I did, I think, with Danny. And it was from the early 2015 when we were all talking about, hang on, something just happened. We're now in 2017. Right. So the subject was time and time jumps. And he then looked at another couple around Mandela effects and stuff. He was so freaked out, he wrote to me, as you do, as you would. I got the message on December 18, and he's basically saying, you have no idea who I am. I didn't know who you were until like last night. And in the dream, he was with a team of people who were going back or going forward in time and doing time loops and messing with time, but they never got past June 26 until something went wrong and he got caught in a 2-minute time loop on June 27 at 5:23 in the afternoon, something like that. And this went on for 2 years for him. He feels like he lived 2 full years. When he woke up, it was 15 minutes after he'd gone to bed. But it was 15 days. He still jumped 15 days in his waking reality, right? It's a very complex, convoluted experience. So in his waking reality, he went forward 15 days. In his dream, he lived 2 full years, but woke up 15 minutes after he went to bed. Or 2 minutes after he went to bed, something like that. Now I'm looking at that experience in relationship to the fact that this me here right now feels like I've finally moved out of March and into April. No, it took 3 months. Again, pure speculation, but if energetically, because like we talked about last week, if we are in a space of almost of no time where the sun might actually be going a hell of a lot slower, 3 days to a day, 3 months to a month. And what we're seeing is a fake sun simulator sort of doing this. When we really, which would be energetically, get to June 26, is that... I'm looking at all that right now. But that means things are dragging out. Things would drag out quite a bit. April, May, June, that will take us up to January of next year. If this continues at this pace, like 3 months per month. Because I've got April, May, and June. That's 9. Might take us beyond that even. I don't know. At the same time, it also feels like there might be an exponential speed up. I don't know. Like I said, I'm speculating about all kinds of shit right now, but there is something in that message for me. It was really powerful. I don't know whether it relates to TikTok time as we're experiencing it, or whether it's this energetic time, sense of time. Not really, but and as far as dates go, it's just, it's crazy to try and speculate on dates in a place of no time. Because it's certainly not July, as far as I can feel. It's April. Just first week of April. And anyway, I'm sure more will come up between now and next week. So I want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you for your shares. Thank you for your dreams and your experiences, because it's all helping to pull this narrative together and help us map out and navigate what the hell we're doing. We are, to some extent, flying blind, it feels, because we're in brand new territory. We've never done this before. I am sure of that. I think we've been at the, even for those who think we've done 2016 before, we haven't, 17, we haven't done it quite like this before. It all feels very brand new. But I also believe that this process has been so meticulously planned out because some of the people in charge are quite anal and efficient, that you will know, and you do know what to do, when to do it, even if you don't know right up until the moment you need to do it. And yeah, you're doing a lot of work in dream time. And some of it is conscious, some of it, most of it isn't. And we're all, I love the fact that we're all working together in dream time. And you're starting, some people are starting to recognize and meet the people in the physical who they know they've been working with energetically for years, which is really cool. So I want to say thank you to everyone for everything you're doing, because we wouldn't be here without it. And I will see you guys next week. Bye for now.